Maybe I can use a bowl? Nope, that's not going to work either. I need to stand it up like that, but I don't know what I can use to actually stand it up. Wait, if I take that and stand it up here, can that actually work? Can you see what I'm doing? I don't think you can see what I'm doing, but now you can. But it won't stay. All right, this is very makeshift. So, now I'm going to take my chef knife kit. And I'm not going to use the carver because that's overkill. And I'm not going to use the amazing Japanese blade because, well, I don't quite need that for this. I'm going to use the fillet. And I will need my temperature gauges, which is what these are. Then I have to charge it, apparently, because it's not charged. So I need to find a charger. So I got to charge it with the charger. Because it's wireless, it needs charging. Plenty sharp. I already washed the sink with soap and water. And the meat is still frozen together. But I like it when it's cold because it's easier to cut when it's cold. Paper towels. I'm going to dry it off a little bit. Pat it dry, as they say. Both sides. Now, if I was doing a restaurant cook, I would probably cut this back portion off because there's a whole separate set of where the bones end. There's a meaty section back here that you can make rib tips out of or whatever. And I'd probably cut off this little piece right here, you know, because it burn up. So, but I'm just going to trim it a little bit because this will burn. That'll burn. Some of this stuff will burn right here. And I don't want any of these little extra bits burning over the couple hours it's going to be in the smoke. And these little scraps I can use for ramen or whatever, you know, I decide to make with it. I can just cook it up on the fryer or, you know, whenever I make, and then whenever I make ramen, I just add these little bits of meat, season them up, and I can make fried rice or put it in my ramen. You gotta be resourceful, man. Don't throw anything away. Use everything. Now there's also a bit of like silver skin here that I could take off, but I don't give a crap. I'll leave it on. Doesn't really bother me to have the silver skin on or off. You know, they say that you can flavor more into the meat, but it's going to be a long, slow cook. The silver skin is going to be off. You know, it's gonna render and be down by the time it's done. So I'm not really worried about it. Second rack, patting it dry. This one's really wet because it was just sitting in that juices down there. And like I said, one of these, I'm probably going to cut into individual ribs. I think that'll be a neat little thing to cut it up and season it up individually. I don't want a bunch of blood sitting in the trash can when I throw this out. So I'm just going to give it a quick rinse. And eventually that's going to go in the trash. Trying to give this one a quick trim. Again, getting my little ramen meat right here. Ooh, I cut right along that thing. See how sharp that knife is? That knife don't play. Any little extras? Nothing really there. Alright, so we got some meat. Individual ribs. Right down the center. We have a curving bone right there. Or is it frozen? Oh, it's frozen. But the beauty of a sharp knife is your knife don't give a shit if it's frozen or not sometimes. And sometimes it does, apparently. I'm probably just ruining my knife right now. Trying to hack through this. Where's that bone? I think I'm hacking through bone right there. Or is that just a frozen piece? I think that's cartilage. What am I talking about right now? Yeah, that was some cartilage. Well, that was a bad cut on my part. That's where the bone came across. Bones on this one are curving out, apparently. And I've got to cut around them. So you see, I have to make a jagged cut to cut around the bones. Because the bones don't want to play nice. So there. One into individual ribs. And then I need to get a bowl. The first thing I'm going to do, wash my hands so I don't contaminate everything with pork juice. More paper towel. Giant bowl. Ribs go in. Then I have avocado oil. I don't know if you can see that because, you know, the camera's weird. And it's a cell phone, so, you know. I think you can see avocado oil. Just a drizzle. So I can coat. I mean, they're already cold and moist, so the binder probably wasn't necessary, but, you know, just a little bit to bind. And I think we're gonna do some jerk seasoning. Can you see that? This is the Jamaican seasoning. And the reasons why I cut these up individually is this way all the sides are going to get seasoned. You know, front, back, side to side. Everything gets seasoned. I just figured I'd try something new because normally I just cook the rack in full rack form. But this way we get, you know, individual, I guess, party size wings. Just trying something. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I've got a second rack that's going to go on fully on by itself. Whatever I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's going to go on old school style, you know, full rack. I don't know if this was the best way to do this, is to do it in the bowl and mix it up so that all the sides get coated. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe the best way was to just do it on the tray and just hand season everything, each piece. Like I said, we're trying something new, so. This, by the way, is my first ever cooking video that I'm trying to figure out on my phone. I'm only doing this because my girlfriend said, you should record it. So I'm recording it because, you know, girlfriend wants to see you cook. You work that shit out. By the way, hello, Veronica. You know, because I said girlfriend, now I have to say hello. Yeah. Because dutiful. So we're seasoned up with the jerk seasoning. And I might go ahead and apply a second another coat. I don't know. Man, why is this pan so small? Not even holding a full rack of ribs. going to take these ones that I've got thrown across the top off, and we're going to throw on a second coat onto these bad boys that are already in here. Just to make sure we're well seasoned. I hope you can hear me when I'm doing this meandering chat to keep you entertained while I'm seasoning stuff away from the camera. This random things I'm saying. Hope I'm not losing you. But I'm just seasoning, so, you know. I don't know how to edit video, so I'm probably just going to mumble the whole way through and just leave it. Maybe I'll find somebody that knows how to edit something. My little brother's pretty handy with all things computery. I am not. I am in my 50s, proud of it. I'm an old man, not afraid to admit it. But I like to cook, and I don't like computery stuff. So, I let those who do, do. And those who don't, well, we don't have to, because we have those who do. Alright, so my bonus seasonings are done with the jerk ones, because they're jerks! So I'm going to try and rinse my hands off first. Dry off my hands, so that there, and then show you what they look like all seasoned up. So this batch is just going to sit here for like 2 hours and just kind of marinate, I suppose is a good word. We're going to marinate it up. This one is already off the damn thingy, so maybe I'll just cut that off so it fits. Oh, I don't really need to. I mean, it's going to fit on the grill. It's just that it doesn't fit on the tiny... I need to buy new racks. I need to buy some hotel-style oven racks. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, because your boy doesn't have any, even though he likes to cook, he ain't gots. So we're going to take that, and I just touched pork again, so we're going to rewash our hands, for Pete's sake, because we are unorganized, and we keep doing things over and over and over. And I need some gloves. I recognize that. I think I have gloves, but I'm apparently not using them. And then we're going to figure out how we're going to season these bad boys. I think I have some barbecue seasoning somewhere. Or did I use all of it? I've got some granulated garlic powder. I used all the barbecue seasoning, but I do have Sazon, which, if you don't know Sazon, you don't know nothing. These aren't barbecue seasonings, these are just seasonings. So that one's out. What's that? Onion powder. That's my onion powder. This is somebody's chicken powder. The big chicken powder is mine. Yeah, the big barbecue seasoning is gone, which is okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sazon and garlic powder. Sazon is a bit salty, but it's got a lot of goodness in it because it's like I want to say it's a kind of a Latino blend. Now, I don't know if I'm actually saying anything right now by, using these words, Latino blend. But if I'm not mistaken, it's a really kind of Puerto Rican ingredient. Now, I don't know why I'm putting this granulated garlic on here. I am going to cook them low, so I don't think they're going to bitter burn. But, who knows. We'll see. And then, just because sticking, we're going to add a little sprayable moisture on there, just to keep the garlicky powder on there. And then, okay, I'm going to keep one hand unporky. We're going to flip it onto the presentation side. And now, because Sazon has all that orange color, I'm about to discolorize my cutting board. My bamboo, expensive cutting board. But hell. You know what? Whatever needs doing, needs doing. Sometimes you just got to do. So a nice, what I would call a light coating of Sazon. Sazon. And Badia garlic and parsley. Now that I read that it's garlic and parsley, because before I had forgotten, now I'm realizing it's probably going to burn because parsley. But do I care? No. Who's going to eat it? Me. So we'll see what we get. Granulated garlic. My moisture spray, just to give it a bit of stick-to-itiveness. And I'm pretty much out of this stuff. So this goes in the trash because I'm pretty much out of it. And then later, I have some duck fat. And I was thinking about rubbing them with duck fat, but then everything would get greasy, and I'm not about everything being all greasy. So I'm just going to put this now. Yes, recontaminating my hands and putting the ribs on the sheet so they don't touch the counter, so I don't put a big orange spot on the counter. Throwing this away. While I'm thinking about it, let me just season this up. Just little bits for my ramen. Because I'll just actually fry them up or whatever. And, they're really thin, so they'll cook really fast. Fry them up and make some ramen. What do they call that? The little chef's treat, I guess. I definitely shouldn't have put Shouldn't have put, should not have put the garlic on there because that's definitely going to burn. But, you know, not thinking. Whatevs. Shouldn't have put in. Inventing a language as I'm cooking. And everything's turning orange because the Sazon is ridiculous. Why did I put so much food coloring in that stuff? It tastes so good, but it's crazy. How much food coloring is in there? But I bet it has a nice color once the smoker gets to it. It's going to give off a real nice color. And I see that the phone has fallen down. Again, if I don't end up editing this, I apologize. But, you know, don't know how to edit, try to figure it out, see what happens. And I also apologize for any swearing I might do, because shit goes wrong, including me saying shit goes wrong. And including me emphasizing that I was saying shit goes wrong. So, oh, I bought these new, because we have sponges, right? And the sponges always start stinking. I bought these little silicone patty things with these little nodules to try out. I got them yesterday. So I'm going to see how they go as far as, you know, washing dishes and stuff. And literally, they came in from Amazon yesterday. You know, and this is not sponsored. This is me trying these for the first time because I just got here yesterday. And I just actually thought of it as I'm about to wash this thing because it's freaking sitting here. So I'm going to wash it. I mean, it seems to be doing the trick. It's very slippery, but that might be because I put the soap on there. But I love the scrubby action it's giving me right now. I'm just afraid that all the soap, I'm going to use a lot of soap with it because, you know, it's not a sponge, so it's not going to hold soap. And by the way, I oil these things like once a month, these bamboo cutting boards. Oh, this is holding on to some soap. I don't know which side was the soapy side. This knife is really sharp, so I don't quite know. Oh, I already did. I cut off nodules. See, that's the bad part about that. I did cut off a few nodules. Only a couple. I can see a couple of spots, bald spots. But it's only like 1 or 2 per bald spot, so and there's only like 2 bald spots. So maybe just being more careful to keep that from happening. That's kind of what I do. I kind of wash as I go, right? Because I'm lazy and I don't like there to be like a lot of things. So I just wash it as I go. That way I don't have a ton of work at the end. I'm just kind of, you know, by the time I'm done, I'm like, oh look, there's only one thing to wash. So, oh, I need to do something with that. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what to do. So gonna do something random. I'm going to do a random thing. Another Amazon purchase. I like these bad boys. They're nice and small. Look how giant my handle is. And then we're going to put these here because they're already seasoned. And they can, let me suck up some of this other seasoning here. And they can just marinate for a bit before I throw them in the frying pan and make me some ramen, because I'll just make some ramen now. You know? Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll throw these in the oven. I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to do with them. But this needs washing. Which, if I move this, I'm going to lose my camera guy, because that clipboard is that cutting board is my cameraman. So, I need an alternate cameraman. So you guys are going to have to just hold on for a second while I figure myself out a cameraman here and wipe up the counter. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm doing, but I'm wiping the counter to get rid of all the seasoning that's on here. So again, Veronica told me to do this, and I'm just doing it for Veronica, but I'm doing it in, like, I'm cooking for other people kind of fashion, you know, so if it does get published, then I'm saying, you know, hi to everyone that sees it in case she puts it on. I'm not really a social media guy, you know, but if she's a bit of a social media person, and maybe she'll put it on there, and it's not just me saying hi to her, it's me saying hi to all of you who maybe see it. You know, it's the day after Mother's Day, by the way, which is going to be tough, right? Because it's the day after Mother's Day, and her birthday is the week after Mother's Day, so this is going to be like, in the future, this is going to pan out to be an expensive week for me. I can see that already. So, you know, I need to start saving money now. Yeah. Just kidding. Just kidding, sweetie. To her, I'm just kidding. To the rest of you, I am not. This is going to be hell to pay. Washing. Done. I kind of like the spongy thing. Not bad. All you can do is kind of rinse it out. It held the soap for the duration of me washing everything. I'm just kind of rinsing the soap out of it now. Oh, shit. So, in case you missed it, everything's falling out of the goddamn drawer because it's held on by like a tiny little thing. And I wasn't expecting that. So every time some weight gets in it, or I touch it, it falls over. So I guess that's it. That was unexpected. See? When you're filming live, anything can happen. As I just proved. This thing is still charging. It is not fully charged, so we're going to let it go. These things are still marinating. So what they're going to do is, as they thaw, moisture is going to come out. As they thaw, moisture is going to come out, as you can see there. But because there's a lot of salt, look how beautiful that looks. The orange color with the sprinkling of garlic on top. And then this with the jerk seasoning. I was going to cut this one in half and do 2 flavors, but I realized how messy this was getting. So I was like, no, because then there's more to clean and, you know, I'm not trying to be here for hours. But I did want to try a couple of different flavors because when I cook for my lunches for work. So I do meal preps. So I guess I'm going to do meal prep ribs. Last week I had what's essentially some chicken adobo, Filipino style. And I made it 2 weeks ago. And I made it with some gravy and I ate it with rice. And I made several different kinds of vegetables throughout the week because vegetables I don't prepare ahead of time. So my work is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I try to cook on Tuesday, although today is Monday. Because I might be doing something tomorrow. So I kind of wanted to get this out of the way since I'm not doing anything today. So yeah, those are the sazon. I'm going to say Puerto Rican style. We're just going to go with it because I know sazon is used in New York City bodegas, and most of those are Puerto Rican. And this is jerk pork ribs because, you know, Jamaican heritage of my own. And all sides are seasoned. Shit is looking dynamic, if I do say so myself. Now, I didn't make my own jerk seasoning, so don't come for me. You know, I bought some store-bought seasonings. I didn't make my own sazon either, for that matter. You know, I don't go out and mine salt myself or pick pepper berries from pepper berry bushes or wherever the hell they come from. You know, I buy seasonings. And then oftentimes I kind of make them my own with, you know, additions and whatnot. Like that jerk seasoning, I've added a few things to it, you know, and I think it tastes really good. So the sazon I have not added anything to, except for the fact that I added my garlic to it. So, you know, you don't have to make everything yourself. You can just make everything, you know, the way you like it. If it's too bland from the store, then jazz it up with something that you like to jazz it up with. So I'm going to end the recording here, and then I'll probably come back later when I'm going to throw them on. I'm going to let them marinate for a couple hours. You know, they still are a little frozen in the middle. So while they thaw, you know, they can work themselves out. All right then. Peace.